Hey, before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any stories like this. I never thought a Friday night could feel like a trap. My name is Ethan. I'm 36, and for the past 5 years, I believe my dating life was fairly ordinary. Steady job, a quiet apartment in Chicago, weekends spent binging shows or catching up with friends. Drama wasn't something I chased, and I never expected it to chase me. So when Claire invited me to dinner that evening, I didn't suspect a thing. Claire was smart, stunning, and a little fiery. That exact mix that had captivated me from the start. I admired her confidence, the way she carried herself, how she could laugh at anything yet still command attention effortlessly. She wasn't someone who quietly entered your life. She made her presence known. Even after months of dating, I respected her space. No pressure, no games. Comfortable, predictable, normal. But that night, everything changed. When Claire greeted me at the restaurant, her usual warmth was there, but layered with something else. A subtle smirk, a glint in her eyes I couldn't place. I shrugged it off, blaming a long work week or fatigue. I had no idea I was stepping into a carefully orchestrated setup. We sat, ordered, and made small talk, but the sparkle in her eyes had shifted into a calculated calm. Then came the first sign. She leaned in, whispering something I didn't catch. I smiled, waiting for context. That's when I noticed her two friends across the table, pretending to sip wine while studying me like predators. It hit me. This wasn't just dinner. This was a test. Claire spoke, her voice casual yet edged with amusement. You know, Ethan, my friends think you need to know your place. Her words landed like stones thrown into still water. My pulse spiked, but I stayed calm. I wasn't naive. I'd encountered subtle power plays before, but this was different. Not playful, not subtle. This was a deliberate attempt to make me feel small, to wrest control away from me. Her friends chuckled, a mixture of mockery and expectation, clearly waiting for me to stumble. I looked at Claire. She met my gaze, a flicker of challenge in her eyes. They expected panic, apologies, maybe even argument, or for me to fall into their scripted submissive role. For a moment, I imagined standing up and walking out, leaving my plate untouched. But I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I leaned back, folded my hands, and gave a calm, measured smile. You think I need to know my place? I asked, voice even almost teasing. And what place would that be exactly? The room went quiet. Surprise flickered across her friends' faces. Confusion, embarrassment, maybe defensiveness. They hadn't expected quiet, confident pushback. Claire tilted her head, trying to stay composed, but I noticed the tension in her jaw, the slight tremor in her hand as she reached for her wine glass. I didn't raise my voice. I let the words linger, heavy and deliberate. The evening unfolded slowly. Subtle digs, sarcastic remarks, little jabs. They tried it all. Each time, I responded calmly, deliberately, without rising to the bait. By the time dessert arrived, I realized something crucial. They had underestimated me. They expected a reaction, but I was here to play only my game. I noticed Claire's shift, the tightness in her shoulders, the wavering confidence in her smile. The dynamic had changed, not because I yelled or created drama, but because I refused to participate in theirs. By the time we left the restaurant, I knew 3 things. 1, Claire and her friends had tried to manipulate me. 2, I wasn't going to let them. 3, whatever came next, I would handle it on my terms. Quietly, confidently, and true to myself. The next day, Claire didn't reach out immediately, which was unusual. Normally, she'd text or call within hours, teasing or joking about the night before. But there was nothing. Silence. I didn't panic or chase. I stayed calm, letting things unfold naturally. Late afternoon, my phone buzzed. Claire. She sounded different, hurried, almost breathless. Ethan, can you come over? I need to talk. Her tone was unfamiliar. Tension radiated through the line. I didn't rush. I replied calmly, sure, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Steady, controlled. No panic, no over-explaining. At her apartment, Claire opened the door, messy hair, wide eyes, Her usual spark gone. Behind her, her friends peeked down the hallway, unsure, waiting for a meltdown that never came. She stepped aside. We need to talk alone. We sat in the living room. Silence stretched, not tense or awkward, just a quiet space ready for the truth. She spoke first. Last night, I didn't expect you to handle it like that, she admitted, voice shaky. I thought you'd react like other guys. I nodded neutral, watching her fidget with the couch cushion. And you didn't. You stayed calm. You didn't argue. You didn't beg. I didn't expect that. I thought you'd fold. And I don't know. It threw me off. I leaned back, composed. I wasn't playing a game. I was just me. I won't let anyone make me feel small or out of control. That's not how I operate. Her eyes mixed surprise, frustration, maybe regret. She looked for an answer. There wasn't one to give. I had set my boundaries the night before. Now she was witnessing the results. You didn't even react when they tried to embarrass me, she said, almost in disbelief. Most men would have yelled, gotten defensive. But you didn't. It wasn't my fight, I said. It wasn't about me. They were trying to prove something. I don't prove anything to anyone but myself. Her voice softened. I overstepped. My friends, they shouldn't have tried to control things. I interrupted gently. And you shouldn't have tested me like that. But we can talk calmly. Honestly, no games. Claire looked down, ashamed, then back at me. I didn't know how else to handle it. I thought maybe it would make me do what? I asked carefully. Beg, show that I could control you, she admitted, almost whispering. I paused, letting it sink in, then leaned forward slightly. That will never happen, Claire. Not now, not ever. I respect myself too much of that. She nodded slowly, understanding at last. Relief flickered in her eyes for the first time in 24 hours. She had tried to manipulate, but I didn't allow it. In that quiet, calm victory, the dynamic between us shifted. We spent the next hour talking. No arguing, no blaming, just honest conversation. She apologized for the setup. Her friends apologized later via text. We clarified expectations and boundaries. For the first time, it wasn't about power or control. It was about trust, respect, and honesty. When I left, I felt a rare peace. Not triumph over Claire, not superiority, but clarity. I had faced a situation designed to undermine me and stayed steady. Calm, controlled, true to myself. Driving home that night, I realized something vital. Respect isn't demanded, and it isn't given blindly. It's earned mutual and maintained through quiet strength, not theatrics. Whatever happens next, I know who I am, what I stand for, and I will never let anyone manipulate my worth again. Sometimes, the greatest victories are silent. No applause, no cheers, just a deep, unshakable certainty that you've won. That night, that quiet, measured triumph was more satisfying than any loud argument or dramatic confrontation ever could be.